My dear child, certain things have to happen in your life. It can be a thing that you don't want to happen in your life. Joseph did not wish to go to jail, but I sent him to jail. When Joseph was in jail, he did not want to stay there. He prayed to me to open a door to bring him out of jail. But I put him in jail for a purpose. He did not know what that purpose was until that purpose had happened in his life. But even in the midst of that, he trusted me. In the same way, you may be going through certain things which you don't want to happen in your life. You are praying to me to open a door to bring you out of it. Let me tell you, the pain that you have been feeling now can't be compared to joy of the blessing that is coming out of that. Trust me for everything. I have a purpose. Don't lose your faith by looking at what you are facing. Instead, hold your faith by remembering who I am and what I can do. I will bless you. My child, know that there are many unhealthy beliefs that we may carry around about our mental health. But in most cases, these are messages of shame that bullies us into hiding, taking us away from the love and care that we are desperate for. To thrive in our mental health, we need to understand the truth behind these lies. Our emotions are not a sign of weakness, they are a source of our God given intelligence that help us understand and respond to what we are experiencing. Denying our emotions and perceiving them as weak is damaging to our mental health. Instead, we can care for our painful emotions by processing them with safe people and receiving empathy. Faith in God is important and helpful for our mental health, but we also need to understand that mental health issues are not typically caused by a lack of faith. So, finding help often requires additional steps alongside cultivating a healthy faith, trust in God. Struggling with anxiety and or depression is not something to be ashamed about. In fact, shame is likely to amplify anxiety and depression. Instead, it's important to accept this as part of us that needs love, empathy, and care. God never wants us to feel bad about ourselves, even when we are struggling with our mental health. God's heart for us is full of love and compassion. He invites us to receive that love by agreeing with it. We were designed to be in relationships with one another and God. Because of this, we all have needs that can only be met through healthy, loving, and supporting relationships. There is always help for us. We can look to God, caring friends, and trained professionals to help us navigate our mental health struggles and experience freedom. God's love for us is not dependent on our circumstances. God knows what is best for us, and sometimes, though we may not understand it at the time, God does not answer our prayer how or when we want Him to. Even though this does not feel good, we can still trust that God is good to us and will ultimately work through our situation. We are not meant to bear our burdens alone. It's important to seek support from people who love us and have the capacity to care for us. My child, know that. Stop being scared to start again. Your past trials were meant to toughen your soul, not prevent it from making further attempts at your dreams. Stop being fearful of taking a step forward. Some chapters were filled with harder lessons than others solely for the sake of evolving your spirit. Stop tricking your mind into thinking you have been pushed back. Your ego may not feel like it is in the right place, but your spirit certainly is. The universe would not take all this time creating custom blessings for your journey without properly preparing you to meet them first. Be thankful for all the divine practice you have received. It is already paying off when your dream door finally appears. You would not have to reach for its handle, it will already be open, waiting for you to walk through and claim what is yours. My child, know that. Let it go. This situation no longer serves you. Allow me to sever your energetic connections to the past so you can embrace the future. Frequently, the activities you humans engage in are focused on seeking freedom. You want to be released from old ideas, expectations, fears, worries, stories you tell yourself, the past, and other people. Sometimes what you want is physical freedom, but usually it is emotional, mental, or spiritual freedom that you are asking for. The tricky part is getting people to participate in their own release. You might be shocked by how many souls are afraid deep down of freedom. I can use my sword of light to sever the energetic connections to what makes you unhappy. But your free will gives you the right to not let go. I want you to be free. Ask yourself if you have given the past power over your happiness in the present. Because you are afraid, you will never be that happy in the future. If so, it's time to dismiss that false notion. Have a courage that you can stand in your own power and live in the now. You can ask me to sever the energetic connections that hold you back a million times, and I will never tire of doing it. I will do it over and over with joy, but will both be even more joyful if you make the choice to finally actually let go. My child, know that Stop attracting your self worth to things that exist outside of you. Things like your job, where you live, your achievements, your perceived failures, the opinions of friends, or the approval of others. Please realize how these things that exist in your life are only things, external things that fluctuate throughout the entirety of your life. When you tie your self worth to things that fluctuate, your perception of your worth also wavers, and you begin to give your power to external factors that rule your state of being, allowing them to control your mood and how you feel. But true self worth cannot fluctuate as it is physical. Think self worth, when felt from within, pays no attention to external factors. It is a motionless yet never ending feeling of contentment, joy, and satisfaction for all that you are, your current self. Remove the attachment for things that exist outside of you and honor the person you are at your core, and that is self love. My child, know that. You know what puts you in a position of empowerment, being at ease with the uncontrollable aspects of your life. Because a big part of your focus is no longer spent worrying about what comes next, and instead applying that energy towards the things that are within your control. If the universe had been designed to be under your guidance, you would be constantly overwhelmed, which is why it is not. So stop assuming that everything is your responsibility. It is not. Just focus on your level of consciousness, your truth, your happiness, your peace, and watch how all the other cards fall into alignment with the spirit of your highest good. My child, know that. Take up space. I know everything in you wants to shrink yourself into what feels easiest. It feels better to regress and create nothing, expect nothing, decrease in hopes that your peace will increase, but that is not the plan for you. Your presence alone makes ripples in the water. You are too bright to hide and too brilliant to dim. Instead of becoming small, take up space. Live louder than you have ever allowed yourself to live. Pray hard, faith it out to its fullest. It is your expansion, not your minimization, that will bring elevation. You have made so many good decisions this year that have put you on a powerful path of expansion. You will soon see many blessings flow into your life as a result of the seeds you have sown. Trust that a wave of positive momentum is heading your way. Grow in silence, work on yourself in private. In a world of constant distractions and stimulation, take time to unplug, connect with your breath, and do the inner work. My child, know that. You may have noticed lately that things are beginning to change. Although the changes may be subtle, they are very real. Big and positive changes are on their way to you. Your new way of seeing and doing things has altered your path. You are beginning to go with the flow. Your higher self is calling you towards your highest purpose. You are being led an even better direction. You have opened up enough space to allow in miracles and blessings into your life. What was once out of reach is now within your grasp. In the upcoming weeks, you will start to receive even more proof that things are changing for the better for you. It's time you are ready for what is next. Have a faith that it will all work out. What is meant to be will be, even if it looks or feel like it would not. Even when you think everything is going wrong, even when you feel discouraged and want to give up, at times it will be overwhelming. At times it may be heavy. At times you will need a moment to take it all in. You can't mess it up. It's yours. All you have to do is trust the process and continue on your journey. It might take a day or maybe it will take years, but what is meant for you will always find its way to you, even if it's a roundabout way. The waiting, the gap, the in between, the changes, the transitions, the meantime, they all serve a necessary purpose. Even delays and detours are part of it. You will arrive at the perfect time. Is the exact person you need to be. Ready, eventually everything will work out. It always does. Take a deep breath in and let go. Hold your power and vision. Everything will fall into place. You don't have to worry about anything. My child, know that. Clarity has more to do with distance than understanding. Just like how objects became nearer, their understanding will improve as you walk towards it. The trickles of information we cleared the are. Your receive concerning the plans God has for us are not monuments for us to stand around. They are maps showing us that there are areas waiting to be explored. If we find that we are unsure or lost, it's not because we have ventured too far. More likely than not, it is because we have not ventured far enough. Growth is in the corners you hide and the stories you seldom confide, in the cries that don't find a shoulder and the laughs that often miss a partner, in the nights that never end and the mornings that come in too early, in the mistakes you make and the apologies you plead, in the path you lose your way and the roads that lead you home, in the hurts you break and the heartbreaks you survive, in the bad days and the roast of them. Growth is in the moment you fall and choose to never break. My child, know that. The kind of pain that crumples you like paper, that makes every part of you feel like it's somehow both on fire and running at the same time. When that kind of pain comes around, don't bury it but allow yourself to feel it. Healing is not swift or easy, but it's rewarding, and at the end of it all, after you have cried and hurt and broken down 1,000 times, you will find strength. Your own strength, which you will build to save yourself, to help yourself get through this moment of grief. Our mind will want us to push this kind of pain deep down, to avoid it, to look the other way. But doing that only means that you are moving on with the pain still weighing on your heart. When you face it headstrong, you give yourself a chance to free yourself of it. It's difficult to give into the hurt, but you do that. Do that for as long as you need to, and then slowly, step by step, let it go. My child, know that. We hear things like take the road less traveled, and it makes sense until your feet hit the pavement and you are standing at intersections with no footprints, no indications of what decisions to make, no generational blueprint to trace. It's just you in the wilderness, God's burning bush, concerned but not consumed by the complexity of your commission. You are in the antique position to pick up your bat and walk, to try what you have never considered, to imagine something different, something beautiful. Armed with expectations, you take a step. There are no perfect pathway to elevation, but somehow, if you faith not, it will find you. My child, know that. The key to growth is to keep believing. Don't be fooled by that negative voice in your head. Keep believing in your potential, ability to beat obstacles, and instincts on how to move forward. The same strength you have used to come this far is what is gonna take you even farther than you can imagine. Nothing saddens me more than existing in a world where mortals let the traumas dictate their character. For once never did I ever saw a withered man giving out light to the rest, whereas they are the ones who have known how being struck look like. How loneliness grasps light, covers up radiance, permitting traumas of past to dictate the rest of the story is not what you should be opting for. Settling for the lessons one gave you and trading the same determines the trembling nature of your will. Employing numerous reasons for this would not help you, would not cure you, would not heighten you. Deterring enlightenment is crippling. Letting it to walk inside is therapeutic. If looming is strength, so does seizing up is. If bravery lies in solidity, melting down to Mark's valor, in that case, each has its own weight and carrying both trains out soul. Acknowledging pain is as important as enduring the same. Unless you accept you don't grow, neither do you learn the art of unlearning. Healing is less about emulating one's way of dealing with it. Temporary calmness it does bring though. What permanently seals its abyss affirmation, affirming the fact that you were too wrong at times. Getting through all of that, though, is not what you were worthy of. However, you are graceful to each plan that destiny holds for you. Let the traumas add to your vibrant being. Use what shattered you to build who you want to turn into. My child, know that. And trust me, there are some people who feel glad that you exist, that you live in the same world they are in, that you are breathing in the same air. Yes, there are people who keep you in their prayers, who wish to see you happy, who feel uplifted whenever you are around them. No, this, my friend, you matter a lot. Your presence touches people more than anything else. And the uplifting vibes you give off are something undeniable, and the individually with which you move inspires every soul around you. Yes, you are magic, you are a star, so keep shining through every phase, keep embracing life, and keep spreading your light. If practice makes us perfect, so when we don't end up with the person we have loved, the love that we have practiced ferociously and deeply. Why do we get broken after it? And instead of maturing more in love, we have practiced loving someone. Our fairy tale with them does not end well. But when we move on to the next person, we should be able to give more love. Our heart should be swelled with love, ready to be poured into someone else's heart. But instead it became swallow. Every time our hearts get broken, we became clueless about love. With time we should be a champion of love, but we always start as beginners. My child, know that. Deep inside you hope, you pray hard, effortlessly you make those brushes appear somewhat like petal flash, hueless flooring and cherry mystic. So, enchantingly do you lie off a sheet of roses on the bed, holding a moist pillow. World outside the cocoon has relentlessly passed on cruelty to you decades after decides. Not once in the course, Athleity was spotted. Seldomly someone has ever picked up love out of you. Vulnerabilities were picked more often, however, despite a flimsy trembling conscience that humans show up with. Not a grain in your firmness did moved out of its way. Hours have gone by, days did pass away too. Gruesome actualities fell on your sides of extremely rugged inhumanity, yet little did it ever blurt out you of your charisma. In the face of hopelessness, optimism is what you spoke, countless emotions, residues of agony, part of grief, all at once you left on the shore for it to flow away. You continue to be in the flux, held open, all your insecurities to find places in the air, in the time. Retired delicate, yet held linen so tight. If it was not enough, I may tell more of what makes you divergent. But let's place it for other day. Until then, keep taking higher jumps, lower ones too simultaneously. Set free your caged being, cut out regrets, make it high, make it bigger. But let's place it for the other day. Until then, keep taking higher jumps, lower ones too simultaneously. Set free your caged being, cut out regrets, make it high, and make it bigger. My child, know that there are days when loneliness wraps us better than anyone's arms can. No matter how many relationships are tied around our wrist, we have to hold our hands when loneliness pays a visit. The world feels like a storage room of our thoughts, and we lie on the heap of our thoughts at times. I feel like a painting hung on the wall with so many meaning inside, and I scream like the paintings, but nobody can hear the screams in my silence. Loneliness makes us feel empty, but it never visits us empty handed. It always knocks on our door with a gift of solitude and misery. Loneliness makes us voiceless and turns our people deaf. My child, know that whatever glorious or beautiful or mighty being exists anywhere, know that it has sprung from but a spark of my splendor. Whatever there is good, the profusion of knowledge, purity of heart, righteousness, beauty, power, and splendor. All that is only a manifested fragment of the Lord's glory, all talent, all faculties, all arts and sciences, all intelligence, order, discipline, all that is admirable, grand, great, and splendid. Wherever there is any happiness, wherever there is any bliss, there is a spark of that immortality which is God. Wherever thou findest a great soul of immense power and purity, struggling to raise humanity, know that he is born of my splendor, that I am there working through him. Wherever an extraordinary spiritual power is manifested by an external man, know that I am there. It is from me that that manifestation comes. If we add up all the glories in the universe, that glory is but a fraction of Lord's glory. We use the visible expression to remind us of the invisible God. In this manner, we will be able to maintain a constant. My child, know that. Let your heart be, let it fall in love with the idea of love and break at every second last instance of it. Let it cry in empty corners and laugh is invisible voids. Let it wander from hut to hut and stone by stone. Let it find home in temporary shelters and comfort in discomfort. Let it hurt in pieces and heal in wholes. Let it break in bits and bends in pounds. Let it be hopeless in love and hopelessly. Let it be yours and let it belong. Let that hurt be, and you will see what a warrior it has always been. My child, know that it is all working out even better than you had planned. Let go of what you cannot control. Pour your heart and soul into your art and mission. Shut out what other people are thinking of you. The moment you decide to go all in our dreams and eliminate the fear of what others people perceive, everything is set in motion. Trust in the divine timing of your path, comparing yourself to others rob of you your full potential. Keep rising above. My child, know that whatever circumstances you find yourself in, whatever trouble that has found its way to your doorstep, whichever feeling you are flooded over and over with, I want you to resolve within yourself in the presence of immense pressure that you will not quit. You will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. My child, know that it took me a long time to realize that not everything in life is meant to be a beautiful story. Not every person we feel something deep and moving with is meant to make a hope within us, is meant to be a forever. Sometimes people come into our lives to teach us how to love, and sometimes people come into our lives to teach us how not to love, how not to settle, how not to shrink ourselves ever again. Yes, sometimes people leave, but that is okay because their lessons always stay, and that is what matters, that is what remains. Now, time for magical prayer. Dear Father, thank you for keeping me safe through the night and opening my eyes this morning. I know many will not wake to see this new day, so I thank you for choosing me to be a part of your plan today. I know I have a purpose if I am still here and breathing. So I pray today that my whole life be an expression of your grace. I give you praise for your mercies are new every morning, and your faithfulness is greater than I could ever imagine. I thank you, Lord, for your constant care, love, and blessings over our lives. Your favor has no end, and your promise to always be with us. I choose to walk in your goodness today. I ask for your face to shine on me, establish the work of my hands, and bring to fulfillment all that you have given me to do. May your favor and goodness follow me today and always. In Jesus' almighty name, I pray. Amen. Dear God, I did not like how I show up in my relationship, and for the most part, I was not happy. At first, I tried to change them, then I realized I can only change myself So I got to work. I started doing more of the things that made me feel alive. I started taking care of myself in every way, physically, emotionally, and mentally. The more I connected with myself, the better I felt. I started to feel like myself again. I started to lead myself intentionally and unknowingly. The love was still here, but the love I grew for myself was stronger. My emotional needs were not met in that connection, and regardless of how they actually felt about me, I did not feel loved, and I did not want to have to wonder as to whether they loved me or not. There were times when I doubted my decisions and wanted to go back, but thankfully I did not. And I'm so thankful for myself for choosing me even when it was not the easiest to do. This year I learned that grief and gratitude can exist, that I can feel my heart crack down the middle and be thankful for the pain, because it means that I have lived fully and loved deeply, that I did not hide from life, but instead chose to pour my whole self into the act of beautiful, hard, messy living. Learn that I can love the life I have now while still taking time to grieve the path I did not walk, the leaves I did not get to leave. The people who are no longer traveling this path besides me, the visions of a future I once had that can no longer be. I learned that so many times in life, we don't know that the last time we do something is going to be the last. That it often sneaks up on us unexpectedly, and that while we can't prevent the last, we can love what we have now while it is still here just a little bit more. This year I learned that my heart can handle so much more than I ever gave it credit for, that it is soft but mighty, that it is far stronger than I ever realized, stronger than I even know now. And while I sometimes wish it did not have to be so strong, I am grateful for this beating heart, for always reminding me that I am still here, still breathing. I am grateful for its gentle wisdom and soft nudges. And most of all, I am grateful that in the joy and the pain, the hope and the heartache, it knows love. And that was my biggest fear, so I would convince them to stay. I would remind them that they loved me. Then they would come back. I barely recognized myself a few years into that relationship. I felt broken. I had stepped on my dignity too many times. I put my needs to the side that I no longer knew that I needed. My world and their world revolved around them. My soul was drained. I was in love, but I was immensely unhappy. So I finally mustered the courage to choose myself and leave, and I have not looked back since. Type yes if you have faith and trust in God, and if you want to your wishes come true very soon, type Amen.